Monday morning, we have had little luck with shiny hunting. We're gonna made some mistakes on the last stream. Essentially, to wrap it up, we got our shiny Totodile, which was a big win. But then, after that, I was convinced that Nidoran male spawned on the way to Victory Road, which is typical for Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow, except I kind of forgot that this is Crystal version. So, big deal, big difference, right? And that just means that I made a mistake. So, what we're going to do today is we are going to go shiny hunting in Rock Tunnel for a Zubat, because, I mean, we could go shiny hunting for a Caterpie. I don't know. It's hard to see, because there's the chain, and so when you get a 250 chain, it's just insane. There's going to be tons of pop-ups, but we're going to have to live with it. But essentially, I just want to try... forgot that this hack has this. Pikachu. Neat. So I forget exactly what all that means. I think you can scan it and it can bring up. Those Pokemon are just more likely to show up there. Oh, we're all the way back here? Okay. So... we've got trainers to clear in here. So we might as well do that. This could be bad. Not that bad. I forgot. Our shiny is a ridiculous level 17. So, see, there's Nidoran female. And we just want a Nidoran male. And now Spike is evolving, which we don't want to have happen. So, we can shiny hunt in here. I'm trying to remember, like, we're trying to do a shiny only run. Oh! You okay? Trying to do a shiny only run of Pokemon Crystal. So, with this new shiny hunting method that Crystal Clear has, we're gonna just use it to get us a shiny. Maybe that's the part where it's gonna be annoying, is if we have like a Pokemon like Metapod, that we could start the radar on Metapod, but you can't hunt and have it count for Caterpie and Metapod. I think I'd much rather have a shiny Caterpie to start, no matter what it might what that might be for us. Now, trying to speed through the battles just to get through there. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was that essentially the entire reason I started streaming was because I want this to be more of a ministry. Just this to be a ministry outreach that I could get on here, and people who like Pokemon and Pokemon ROM hacks, that we can talk about Bible stuff. I also am fully prepared that that might mean that somebody sees this title and they are definitely not going to pick this stream, and that's okay. So we're gonna make sure we have some Pokeballs. Even like a great ball would be good. Whoa. All of these? That's crazy. It's expensive though. Is this a Dragon Fang? Stadium 2 only. Oh, I see. So let's get like 4 Pokeballs, maybe 10 Great Balls? That might be a lot, actually. Maybe 5. And I bought 1. Nice. These older games always, like, just kind of threw me for a loop on paying attention. Do we want anything else? We already have an escape rope, so we're good there. But today, I just kind of wanted to focus on what I could focus on. I've been trying to be thoughtful and prayerful about what to talk about. Man. So that's kind of the only thing I have going right now, is I don't really know exactly what to talk about. As far as Bible chats go, I would love that one day, someday, this would be like a Bible Q&A. Just getting a text from a very dear friend about somebody that we knew in Peru. So that's a good thing to think about. Could I don't know, I feel like talking about my time in Peru would be a little more self-serving, like instructive, less evangelistic. But I don't know, maybe that would be something interesting to talk about. Oh, Spike was poisoned. I wish I had an Everstone so we didn't have to cancel his evolution every single time, but that's okay. And I have to be thoughtful. Here's what's going to happen. I almost guarantee it. What's going to happen is I'm not going to be paying full attention. We're going to level up in the middle of a battle, and Spike's going to try to evolve, and I'm going to still have it on the fast forward function, and then we're going to lose it, and then he'll be a crocodile. And possibly ugly. I haven't looked at all the Gen 2 shinies in a long time, so I really don't recall what they look like. Alright, so now begins the shiny hunt. We are hunting for a Zubat. So, just because it's on my mind, let's look for Zubat. So, Zubat isn't a great Pokemon, we all know this, but Gen 2 gave it Crobat, and Crobat is pretty sick. Its shiny is sick. So, info, moves, search. Union Cave. What are we in? Current area. There we go. Warning. 30%. Okay. that's fine. Wait, is it trying to tell me that I could go further down? Okay, percentages don't get any better, so there's no reason to do that. Info doesn't show us that it's shiny, so it does show us what it's weak to. Base stat totals. So that's cool. That's really cool. Lives, list, area. Oh. Oh! This is all the Pokemon in the area. I see. That's really cool. I also really like I like Sandslash and Sandshrew. I don't know if they're shinies or any good. But what we're going to do is we're going to stay right close to the entrance here. And speed up. And so this is it. This is the beginning. We need to start the chain. Excellent news, water gun KOs in one go. So now it's a Sandshrew. We don't want to mess with Sandshrew because we don't want to break the chain. Zubat. So now we get to just chill. And I have to have just enough brain power to be focusing on what Pokemon is on the screen and to run away from anything that is not Zubat. And anytime it is a Zubat, can't run away. So, I've got my own little tricks and tips here. But as people start to get to know me, they'll know that I teach Sunday morning sermons to middle schoolers, which isn't like it really kind of fell into my lap on getting that leadership position. And it's not a position, I'm not paid, it's just service that I wanted to start serving. And so the fun part of the story is that my wife was already serving with the junior high ministry, and I had met the junior high pastor, really cool guy, and when he saw that my application came through to start serving, I wanted to serve with elementary age kids and do Sunday school teaching because I'm an elementary teacher. Especially at that time, I was just about to change from teaching music elementary to teaching the 3rd grade. So I thought it'd be really cool. Monday through Friday, I teach the 3rd grade, and then on Sundays, I can teach 3rd grade Sunday school. And so that was like what I had in my mind, and I really liked that as an idea. And oh, it almost happened. You see that? Oh my gosh. I was on speed up mode. See? Oh, golly. We're going to have a crocodile pretty soon. But what happened was, as I was interviewing and did all the steps to start serving with the children's ministry, the elementary age children's ministry, it was the junior high pastor that called and said, hey, you know, there's really something special about serving alongside your spouse. And that made me start thinking, and I was like, okay, I like that idea. And if somebody says that it's a good idea, and I had already met him, and he was really cool, he was really nice. And then just with that, he also said something that was important, that he said, when you were in middle school, what would you have needed? And it made me think a lot about my own life, that in middle school, that's when I really started to get into a lot of trouble. For me, 6th grade was where I started getting into pornography and lying about school and getting in trouble at school. 7th grade's when I started stealing alcohol and smoking cigarettes, and then 8th grade's when I started smoking weed and ditching classes, and just those, so those 3 years of what is considered middle school were really bad for me, and it made me indulge into a lot of things that I also just yeah, it started me on a path where then I began to, steal things from stores. My friends stole cars, and we would go driving around and joyriding in stolen cars and like those different things that also just putting my life into very awful and precarious situations. And so when he asked me that, it really convicted me that I was like, I needed God in my life, but I was fighting so hard against that, especially in my middle school age. So that's kind of what made me say, okay, I'll do it, and I'll serve alongside my wife, and I'll do this. And then, after serving for a year, I was given the opportunity to teach the junior high classroom. It's not a classroom. It's they get together, play some games, um, um, and then we do like a mini church service. Just it's more applicable to their age group. And then I got to teach one time, and it went really well, and I started getting more of those opportunities. And then one of the really important leaders decided that they had to leave, just to go somewhere else, move on with something else in their life, stop serving. And it made both my wife and I want to step up and say, hey, if you need any help, we can do that. And so he was like, actually, I've really wanted you to be helping for a little bit. It's been on my mind. And so he essentially, our church, not essentially, but our church has 3 different services. Saturday at 6 o'clock, and then 2 on Sunday, one at 8:45, one at 10:45. And so he just kind of gave my wife and I the leadership and me the teaching responsibilities of the 8:45 service. So we lead that, make sure everything runs on time, make sure the kids are safe, and those basics, along with I get to prepare like a teaching every week. So it's a lot of fun. It's fun for me, just like as somebody who's been a teacher for years, that's like my craft, and then just focusing on that, getting to do it while now I'm homeschooling my kids. So sometimes I don't feel like a teacher anymore, but I kind of get that blessing every Sunday that I still get to teach and get up in front of a room full of kids that aren't my own children, because it feels very different. Let's check how many chain we have on Zubat. 40. Only 200 more to go. And then the shiny odds are insanely boosted. Okay, so because I don't know what that means, we're going to take a moment. Possible rerolls per encounter. I need to know what that means, because I'm probably like totally missing something. Crystal clear rerolls. Good. With each encounter, the game re-rolls the stats of a wild Pokemon. It stops after X times, or if it ends up being a shiny or perfect stats. Oh. No way. Are you telling me? Oh, so you're telling me it re-rolls the stats of a Zubat to get better stats every time I do an encounter? To try and make it so essentially right now I'm encountering 3 Zubats, and it's picking the best one or the third one. That's crazy. That's kind of cool. So this is Crystal Clear ROM hack on Crystal. It's an absolute blast to play, just to play alone, but I'm trying to do a shiny only run just to make it that much more fun. And I almost ran away from this because I wasn't paying attention. Wow. Alright. There's something crazy about this line right here in the cave. It's been almost only Zubats, which that's why I thought Zubats would be good to shiny hunt right now, because doing the chain hunting, I know there's going to be a lot of Zubats in the cave. Like, it's just, they're everywhere. There's like, I don't have to do anything, right, for the reroll? It's interesting that it does that. Not a shiny. What? Something happens. Do you see that? There's something that's happening sometimes. There's like a little frame right at the end. I just want to make sure I'm not like missing something important. It's probably just a frame, like a screen tear or something that I'm. But like if it's a if it's a text popping up that I need to like interact with, I'm worried I'm missing it. It's probably nothing. But I was trying to answer a text just a little bit ago. Ah! Okay. I swear, I'm gonna forget that I'm trying to stop Totodile's evolution. We're gonna accidentally get a Totodile, or a Croconaw here in just a minute. But, I forgot what I was gonna talk about. I haven't quite centered on something exactly to talk about, except I was talking about, my friend texted, and he was saying that the person that we went and served with in Peru, we went on a mission trip to Peru, and the person who was like in charge of leading us around, and she's in charge of essentially all the missions that go out of this one church in Lima. He's going back to Lima. His flight leaves tonight, and he's gonna go see her and try and encourage her, and was asking if we could like send some sort of like video or something as an encouragement to her, because she's just been feeling really down. So I'll probably want to do that in just a little bit. Probably a video for me, but it's a really cool experience. We got to through something called the School of Ministry, which essentially is just my church dedicates that we do. We have a class that's to try and grow spiritual leaders in our church, and I was recommended to do that, and I did it. It was a full year of like really intense, like, you know, you study a book, not a book of the Bible, but a separate book on like leadership and leading and ministry. We have to read one book a month, give a report on it, and then also going through and serving in every single ministry that our church has, which is quite a lot. So it was once a month you get to go to a different, or every month you get to go to a different ministry, learn how they do everything there, and go to the next one. Did you see it? I saw it. I saw the text at the end. That was absolutely something. There is something. That was not a screen tear. But through this school of ministry, through this school of ministry, it's also required to do a mission trip, just so you can feel like what a missionary kind of has to go through. Obviously, we were only on a mission trip for 10 days, so it's really hard to say that I know what a missionary goes through, because I only had to leave my home for 10 days. I didn't have to start an entirely new life like missionaries do. But it was really awesome. We got to go to Lima, Peru. We were in Lima and doing some different things there. And then we left Lima to go to another city called Iquitos, which is right on the Amazon River. And then we got to boat down the Amazon River to a Amazon village. And then at the Amazon village, we did like a Bible school for the kids for a whole week. We played in a soccer tournament, and let me tell you, a soccer tournament with a bunch of dudes from Colorado versus a village of Peruvians, we stood absolutely no chance. Even though one guy from our school of ministry class, he's actually Nigerian, and on top of that, he did play semi-pro professional soccer. So he was really good, but the rest of us were not. So we got spanked in soccer every single night, which was really rough. By the end of it, we were all feeling it. We were like, okay, do we really have to go play soccer again? Like, we're just going to get humiliated. Um, and it was fun, though. It was really, really, really great trip. I could talk a lot about the things that we did and saw there. Um, but just makes you think a lot about like missionaries, that there are people all over the world that decided to give up their really cozy lives where they could sit and play Pokemon at 12:30 on a Monday, and instead they're living in third world countries just to go preach the gospel and lead churches and all that means. And it's just like really impressive, really cool to see that, like, there's just so much happening in the world. I think that was one of the biggest things for me as a kid who grew up upper middle class, middle of Colorado. Like, I had it great, barely struggles. I made my own struggles, and then to just see people that willingly go to third world countries and experience hardship just so they can go and be able to tell people about God and how much God loves them. And then I live here, and I barely talk to people about how much God loves them, except when I'm in the church building, and I get to do that a lot, which is great. But it's one of those things that was a great conviction for me, that was like, if I'm gonna start streaming or making videos, I should definitely make sure my priorities are right, that I'm using it to talk about the most important thing. So, here we are. Our second visit to the Pokemon Center, still no shinies, and we are on a 84 chain. So, that makes sense. We're hitting about 40 Zubats every time we gotta go to the Pokemon Center, and that we're out of moves to use. So that's good. Hopefully, I didn't actually think about like this chain hunting and what that's gonna do for my Totodile's EVs, but that's a problem for a different time. Right now, we're just trying to get the shiny Zubat. Feeling extra tired today. Mondays are always a little extra harder, and that's something that once I started teaching every week, I started noticing. I was like, Mondays suck. Like, and I don't even have to go to work. Like, I feel bad for my wife that Monday means time to go back to work. She can't sit on her couch at all today, you know? Like, that's a bummer. And as for most people who have to go back to work on Mondays, for me, I get to homeschool my kids, and Monday even means something extra cool for us, that my son gets to go to the Options program, which is just a place where homeschool kids can go and they can get art lessons, science lessons, all from teachers through the day. So it gives me a break where I don't have to be doing the homeschool teaching for him today, and I just get to have time with my daughter. We've had a lot of fun playing with toys this morning, and lunch was good too. She's got her favorite movie on. She's sitting right back here with me. Whoa. I'm just talking, Addie. I'm just talking. My friends. Okay, +1 reroll. Okay, it's just telling me that there's a reroll. That's not bad. So we're getting more rerolls every time. So that's weird. It's just trying to lower my encounter rates. Or I mean, it's lower the shiny rate. just weird that it doesn't look like anything's happening. So it's all on the back end. That's strange. But I was starting to notice that every Monday after I began teaching the junior high kids was really difficult. And I would be extra tired, extra grumpy, and I was like, maybe it's just because it's Monday, and it's like Garfield on Mondays. But then I talked to the junior high pastor about it. I was like, so Mondays are like terrible. And he was like, oh yeah, I should have told you about that. Like once you start teaching regularly, you'll notice that, we as Christians, we call it spiritual warfare, and it's because Satan and the enemy of God does not want us doing something great, right? And just teaching kids how much God loves them and being able to do that well, which I think I do, Satan hates that. And so just that tiny little fact that, like, yeah, he told me, he's like, you can just definitely feel the Monday mind battle starts. How do you do that? It's radiating a powerful aura. Whoa. Well, that was cool. So this is like a perfect stat Zubat, but that's not what we care about. We do not care about a perfect stat Zubat. We want the shiny Zubat. Give me the colorful Zubat. I don't care how strong you are. We have a level 24 Totodile, which is just ridiculous. Like actually getting to the point where we need to go start getting more badges. Although this game has another like little thing built into it that you get to re-challenge all the gyms. So if I go and let's say I don't even know. If I go fight Brock, I already beat Brock. We can go back and beat Brock again, and he'll be at a higher level. He'll be at like the 2 gym level. And so you can get experience points by re-challenging gyms over and over again. And you can make them easy or you can make them hard, which is really great when you're like training up new Pokemon and trying to give them more experience points. You can just go to a gym that you've already done that they're super effective against and just fight them. So that works well. I did realize when the shiny hunt started that when we get a shiny Zubat, we are completely weak to electric. Like, any electric type is just gonna destroy us. Got another reroll. Interesting that we've only seen one super powerful Zubat, even with all the rerolls that we've got. Which kind of should show us and tell us how hard this is going to be. But let's get out and heal so we don't have to start struggling. Ah! But I made it known to the junior high pastor, and I said, Mondays just suck. He said, yeah, should have told you about that. It's just like an incredible mind battle, and something that you have to just be really ready for. And so, it's been good for me that Mondays are the days where I know that that's coming, so I just kind of like prepare myself mentally, and also I need to be as prayed up as possible that I'm gonna be, more ornery on a Monday. I'm gonna be more annoyed at things on a Monday. So it sounds bad, but if you have kids, you would understand that it's really quite a blessing that my son is somewhere else for the whole day on Mondays. My daughter's a lot more chill than he is, and that's just his personality. He's uniquely himself, and I wouldn't change him for anything. But man, he is electric. That kid just goes. And it's kind of funny. I just always think about how interesting he is, because he's like a boy of boys. Like, especially teaching in public schools, you talk about boys being boys, and they're rough. My son is like the picture of a boy being a boy. And I was not growing up. I was very shy, very quiet. I followed the rules. I can kind of say that. I didn't want to get in trouble by my teachers. I didn't want to. I didn't want teachers to look down at me. Um, I wanted to be liked by the teachers. I wanted to be liked by my friends. I wanted to be liked by anybody. So I just really cared about what everybody thinks. And my son is not that way. And I love that about it. And I really, as one day I was praying about it, feeling really upset about it and just like angry, I was like, come on, God, why is he like this? Like, please, like, help him gain some sense. The Lord really told me, it was like, he's going to get to enjoy things that I never got to because I was too afraid of standing out and being loud. But he's going to get to enjoy it, and he's going to get to have it, and that's going to be just his, that we are different. We're different people, different men, but it'll be cool to see. It'll be cool to see him. He's just starting. This was a rough week too. He was really starting to get on my nerves this weekend. Just not doing the right thing, disobeying, being disrespectful. He likes to say no right now. Which is something that as a parent you're like, I thought we already went through this. Like, you don't say no when I tell you to go do something. But then they just somehow get the gall again a year later to do it again. And it's just a never-ending cycle. But what's really cool is that I get to think about a lot of the time that when I'm upset that my son's not obeying me, the Lord likes to slap me right in the face and say, well, you don't obey me all the time either. And it's a good reminder. Helps me stay a little more sane. That's like, man, I sin and I go against directly what God has told me to do or not to do. And then I get so upset at my son for doing the same thing. It's like, well, should cut him a little slack. Give him some grace. Because I do the same thing. Nobody's perfect. And being a parent and a believer, you get to see so many cool things of like, to understand God on a deeper level. It's really cool. Like, and I noticed this the first night we took my son home from the hospital. And we got home, and also to mention that when we got home was the first time I ever had a panic attack in my life. Was we brought home this little baby that I don't know how to take care of. It was in the middle of July, one of the hottest Julys that Colorado has ever seen, and we didn't ask somebody to come over and turn the AC on for us, so the house was super hot, which is unsafe for a baby, right? And so I'm freaking out that I'm like, oh my gosh, we brought him home just to like sweat him out, which is terrible. And I was freaking out about that. Somebody's calling me on my phone, and it's ringing super loud. The baby is scream crying. Somebody's knocking at the door to come and bring us something, right? I didn't know that they were bringing us something. But I'm like, somebody's at the door. Somebody's calling. The baby's screaming. The house is too hot. I'm freaking out. Don't know how to take care of this kid. And then he's a boy and just starts peeing everywhere. I'm in the middle of my living room with my brand new baby, and this kid's just peeing everywhere, on the floor, on the wall, and on me. And I'm like, what in the world? I had my first panic attack of my life. I had to leave my baby screaming there on his little pack and play, no diaper on, and I just walked away and had to go sit and cry. It's like, I'd never had a panic attack before, and it was insane. But it was that night that, you know, everything goes back and everything's calming down, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, I love this thing so much, and he just showed up in my life. Like, this is what unconditional love is. And then it slapped me of this, how I feel about this little baby at this very moment is how God feels about me and about every single person all the time. And it like sunk into my heart, and I've never forgotten that when God says he loves you, that's what he means. Like that looking at you, admiring you with tears welling in your eyes, in his eyes, of love and care. And you think like, oh, well, I haven't done anything good. Well, neither did that baby. That baby did no good for me. It's especially, right? I was about to get a hospital bill for the delivery of him. Like, to think that, oh, I've never done anything good for God, that's not how it works. And that's not what it's about. He still loves and cares just like how a father cares for their children. And it's one of those things that you can kind of understand until you're actually looking your baby in the face and you go, oh, I get it. And it's quite an amazing feeling. It's stuff like that I don't get to teach, middle schoolers, because it's very inapplicable to their lives, right? They have no clue. They have no care or concern that they're like, well, I'm not about to have a baby. They're like, well, I'm not about to have a baby, so it doesn't matter. And so it's conversations like that I don't get to teach on very much, that I think are great right here. Good things to save and to say for people to understand. And I think about that quite a lot, and I like to teach this one idea that like God gives us pictures of biblical truths in creation, so we can look around and like how he made the world, and we get to see more things that don't make sense in the Bible, and they start to make sense when you look around at everything else. It's just cool things that you get to find out and learn. Like, I'm a real big science nerd. I say recently, which makes me feel old because it was a couple of years ago, now that I actually think about it. Maybe even, it might have been like 4 years ago. But, like, lamb's blood, little lambs, sheep babies, their blood has a compound in it that is a natural anti-venom to snakes. Which, biblically, all of those have parallels, that Jesus is called the Lamb of God. We're cleansed by his blood, and the enemy that brought sin to people was in the form of a snake. And so when you just start to think about that, it's like, even if you don't believe in God, you can kind of sit and be like, that's really weird, because there's no way anybody knew that lamb's blood had those properties in it. But when you do believe in God, it's that much more amazing that you get to see and be like, wow, he created it to be that way. So we can look at it and be like, oh, it's just further proof for us to stumble onto. Such a cool thing. Man, we are getting close to that 250 mark on, I keep calling it Poke Radar, but I know that's not what it is. We're getting a lot of these super powerful Zubats, so I'm feeling like these rerolls are really helping. We're getting more and more of those, so we should be getting a shiny anytime soon. The thing that's funny about shinies is I get lost, and see, this is why I don't gamble, because it annoys me. It's because statistically, right, with shinies, it's a 1 in 8,000 something chance to get a shiny. And when people shiny hunt, you have this idea and this feeling of like, well, I've had 800 encounters. That means my odds have gotten smaller, and that's entirely untrue. Every reroll that this is making, and every encounter that we've had, there's still an 8,000 chance for every single one of them. We're not trying to manipulate the encounter rates. It's just pure statistics that if we do it 1,000 times, we'll probably get one. So then it just starts to drive me crazy that I'm like, okay, it's got to happen soon because I've been at it for so long. Well, I have just as much chance right now to get a shiny that I did the first time I found a Zubat. It's the exact same odds. Uh-oh. Just realized we only have one more rock slide. And we're out of the tunnel with no wilds. Okay, I was like, I think we only have one more rock slide, and if we run away, I don't know if our counter resets. Our chain's at 220. 250 is where it maxes out, I think. Or it maxes out with 10 rerolls. Something like that. Is what I heard about this ROM hack. So, we're getting close. I can smell the shiny Zubat. I think they're green, right? And then I know for sure that the Crobat, shiny Crobat, is green. So, I also thought it's smart to get a shiny Zubat now, because if you get one early, Golbat. No! Okay, Spike's a crocodile. He still looks cool. Still looks cool. Oh, darn it. I knew it was gonna happen. I would have bet that I would just not be paying enough attention. He still looks really cool. Alright. I was not giving Crocodile enough credit. It looks cool. Still shiny. Looks great. But if we get our Golbat to Crobat needs a friendship evolution, which just means you have to have it for a long time and not knock it out a bunch. Or if you knock it out a bunch, you have to have it for a long time. So, we'll try and get Golbat as quick as possible so that we can start working on the friendship score. And then we'll get a shiny Crobat. Yeah. Now I'm saying all the names too much. I can't even keep them all straight. Super powered. Oh. I hope I'm not making a whole bunch of those grunts and noises, but I probably am, because Mondays are also the days that I get back into exercise. I take Saturdays and Sundays to rest, but then back at it. I like to jog for my exercise, and then I also just lift a couple of dumbbells that I have. So I don't go to the gym or anything because, I mean, I'm responsible for my kids all day, so it's one of those that I want to make sure that I can't, when I'm with my wife, I want to make sure that I'm giving her as much time as I possibly can, and not just being like, oh hey, welcome back from work, here's dinner, here's the kids, see ya. Even though I would probably enjoy that greatly. Especially, like, going to the gym would be good. I'd probably be seeing better gains than I do right now. And on top of that, just getting, like, more time away. But I've really started to just more embrace, like, I want to be with my family. You know? I just want to be with my family as much as possible. Because we do really like each other. And what's sad is that in America, at least today, I can speak for today. There we go. We got a star on the chains. We got 10 rerolls every time. Big oof. We haven't found a shiny yet. But I can speak onto American culture. I feel like I keep hearing the Twitch sound, but it's not updating any chats. So that makes me nervous. So. actually getting? Oh, I clicked refresh the chat. Let's see. Anything in here? Nope. That's fine. That's good. I just wanted to know. If I'm missing any, I'd feel really bad about that. So many Zubats, man. This is crazy. What was I saying? Typically, married American men like to avoid their families, it seems. And it's just kind of a bummer. And it's like, they go to work, they get home from work, they want to go to the gym, they want to watch, whatever game's on, and just for probably a few generations, it's like people just knew, like their fathers weren't super present. I'm very happy to see that that's starting to turn around. I think like as a whole in our country, we see a lot more dads ready to step up and take care of their families, which is really, really good. But like especially for church-going men, like we can't be avoiding our families. We're supposed to be the representative and the spiritual leader of God to our families. So for us to be avoiding our families for our own comfort, like literally God doesn't do that. And so it's important, I think, for Christian men and Christian dads and fathers and husbands just to be taking that seriously, that like we're supposed to show our kids and our wives how much God loves them. And you can't do that when you're trying to play golf every weekend and going to work in the gym every day. And, you know, just showing up to the baseball games isn't really enough. Why does he want to learn Scary Face so bad? I don't want Scary Face. But yeah, just one of those things. One of my own convictions. And that I spent years as a leader in the men's ministry at my church. So I really do have a heart for men, just as they're growing up in their faith as well. Because, and I'm one to talk, right? Like, I got saved at 18, right before I got married. And I would say, even to that point, I was not a good Christian for the first, 6 years of my walk with God. And my first 5 years of marriage, I was not a good godly husband. I was trying and I was learning, but I wasn't really making a lot of changes into my everyday life because I still just wanted to do what I wanted to do. But it wasn't until I started just really learning from good biblical teachers, learning myself from the Bible, and then applying the things that I feel like God was saying to me through my reading and what God was saying to me through my pastor that was teaching me, that I started putting that into my life, and I'm like, oh, it was my fault this whole time. For all these years that I was just so angry and upset at my wife, that I wish she could have been, quote unquote, better at being a wife. And that really just meant giving me what I want without me having to give what she wants and what I don't want, right? And once I realized that, I've been a little better. And I think she would attest to that, especially the little bit part. But it's kind of the cool part about being a Christian and really trying and learning more through the Bible, through what God wants to do in your life, is that you'll be a completely different person you were even just 5 years separated. Even 5 years ago is when we started going to Calvary Aurora for our church, and I was a completely different guy then. I would say even 2 years ago, I was a very different person and a believer then. But I can see more of myself in that 2 years ago me than I can in the 5 years ago me. And I really can't see a lot of myself now with 10 years ago me. And my wife and I are coming up on 10 years being married. October. Yeah, next month. We're less than a month away. Oh my gosh, we're like 20 days away from being married for 10 years, which is just crazy. And yeah, I feel like she hasn't changed much at all. I know now, and I can see some different things that the Lord has done through her and with her, but it was really me. I need a lot of work. That was a big mess when I got married. But I'm a little better now. At least I try harder, I think. I can't believe we haven't found a shiny yet. I knew this was going to be a long one. I was ready for it to be a long one. Like this, it's just the chain radar. Whew. I knew this was going to be a long hunt. But I really don't want it to take 2 live streams. I really don't want to have to come back and do this again tomorrow. So come on, Shiny Zubat, let's do it. I just realized, like, yeah, I'm just gonna have to really focus on this. We'll be able to see it shiny. It'll be green instead of blue. We've seen so many blue Zubats this afternoon. But we've gone more than 10 levels with our Crocodile. Oh no! I don't want to say that out loud. I was about to say we might get a Feraligatr by the time... By the time we get the shiny Zubat, we might be in Feraligatr range. That's a little sickening, but that's the whole point of a shiny run, right? We're just doing shinies. It doesn't matter how they equal and how much grinding we're gonna have to do. It's just a shiny run. And crystal clear again, like I was talking about all the gyms, they make it easy to regrind. It'll be fine. Gotta give my thumb a break on the space bar. Jeez. Drink some water. Funny story about Peru, and I mentioned that my very good friend, we were in the school of ministry together. He texted that he's leaving for Peru again. He's going back tonight. We were in Peru at the beginning of May. He's going back, and he's going back because it is his girlfriend's birthday, and his girlfriend happens to be one of our translators that we had on the trip, which at first sounds really yucky. Like when you say it out loud, it sounds really yucky. It sounds like we were all supposed to go and serve the Lord, and he comes back with a filly, and she's a beautiful young woman. And it's like, really? How did that happen? Like, it seems really gross, right? Whether it was, like, predatory or anything. But I'll tell you the whole story, that we were all ready to just serve. We had no idea we were going to even have translators or, who they were going to be. And so we show up at the airport, and there's our person who runs the whole operation, and she's really nice. And then there's another interpreter just to help out. She's native Lima, Peru, native to Lima, native Spanish speaker, but she's really proficient with English. And she's a very pretty lady. And I think all of us kind of noticed she's a very pretty lady, and this guy was the only single guy on our 7-man crew, right? All of us other guys have been married. Me, the least amount of years. At, at almost 10 years, I had been married the least amount versus our guy who was single. And so, funny enough, he's 32. He's older than I am. And, just always been patiently waiting. And honestly, when they met, it was nothing special. They just started, clicking, and they were really talking quite a bit. And by the end of the first day, it was just strange. You could just feel, there's a connection. They're not trying to be weird or flirting. They're just kind of talking with each other, really getting along well. And we're all like, ooh, it's like little schoolboys do. We're kind of making fun of him and doing different things with that. And then she drops the bomb that she's 32. Honestly, this lady looks great. That you'd expect. I was expecting she was college age, or maybe just graduated college, 24, 25 maybe. But then for her to be yeah, I'm 32, single, that's been a whole thing, and blah blah blah. She's telling us about that, and all we could do was not laugh looking at the single guy. We were like, oh really, you're 32? And what started out as us just being dumb boys, being like, ooh, do you have little eyes? And then turned into, she really wanted to go on the trip, and she really wanted to minister with those kids, but she didn't have the money. And our head pastor, the pastor who leads the school of ministry, was like, maybe we should pay for her to go, because she really wants to go. And he made it clear. He was like, if you guys start flirting, you're not out here to date. It was very clear. And what we all saw was something very special, with two people just finding each other, being able to see this little relationship start, that they were awesome, very faithful, good servants, that they didn't try to do anything on the trip. It was genuinely end of the trip. I was the one that told our guy, I was like, just write her a note, as we're walking into the airport saying goodbye, you just give her a little note, all your feelings onto it. If she doesn't want to read it and she's not interested, she'll throw it in the trash, or she'll call you. And she called him. They were talking and texting and flirting before we even got on the airplane. They started talking a lot. They started praying, fasting, to think about what to do about this relationship. And now it's her birthday in a couple of days, and he's going out to go and to see her. Oh my gosh! We'll just let it happen. We have a shiny for alligator before any other shinies. We're level 30 just by knocking out Zubats. Oh, he looks so frumpy. Look, he looks terrible in the overworld. What a bummer. But he's going out to see her. And for me, a man who got married at the age of 19, I keep pressing him. I'm like, come on, dude. You better be going with a ring. And I'm just trying to be a little silly, but also, if you're gonna get married, just do it. You're never gonna be at a perfect place in your life. Just like having kids, too. When just between a married couple, you're never gonna be ready. Kids are insane. You'll never be ready to be a parent, so you might as well just jump into it. And especially, I would highly recommend having kids before you turn 30, because you're going to be less tired. Instead of going on benders and being hungover in my 20s, I just had babies. And so, when people talk about oh yeah, you can recover from a hangover pretty early in your 20s, it's yeah, I bet you could, because I could recover from sleepless nights with a baby pretty well. And I would not want to do that. Even right now, like my kids go through like little times. Like my daughter just had a phase where she was waking up in the middle of the night to have to go to the bathroom, and that messed up with my sleep so bad. And I was like, oh, I can't do it. And that was just once, let alone when they're babies. It's so, oh boy, it's rough. That is something that I was talking earlier about, just unconditional love for your baby, for your child. It's just really funny. Like, you just start looking at the little baby, and you start thinking, you're like, I shouldn't like this thing. Like, in all intents and purposes, in human nature, I should not like this thing. It is disturbing my sleep. It is disturbing my time with my spouse. I have to feed it and care for it, and I get nothing in return. Like, our human nature kind of should not like babies and should make us not like them at all. But then you look at their face and you're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. Even when you haven't slept in forever and you're just staring at them and you're like, you're the coolest. And that's just what happens. God made it that way so that we would keep caring for them. Come on! We haven't gotten any extra rerolls, right? We made it to the 250 star, so we just have 10 rerolls possible. I kind of want to keep counting on the chain. Like, we've got to be... We're past 300 now. But, what's crazy is we haven't seen anything other than a Zubat. Have you noticed that? Literally haven't seen anything other than a Zubat. But we can't take this for alligator to level 40, or let alone like level 35 with no other shinies. We can't. This is about the time where I wanted to end the stream, but I'm really I really want this Zubat, man. I don't even know how we're gonna level this thing up. There's no experience share in this game. Or maybe there is. I don't think there is. I'm gonna have to like double check that, but we're gonna have to just switch train this at Brock's gym, I guess. We're gonna be able to muscle through like 2 or 3 gyms before we'll have to start struggling again. That might even be an understatement. We started this with a level 24 Totodile. I mean 14. Oh my gosh! 24, I was like, oh, that's not bad. It's only been 6 levels. No, 14. Just goes to show how nice the speed up function is. If I was doing this in normal time, I'd be having a terrible time. What are Zubat's EVs that it gives? Because this for alligators. What EVs does Zubat give? I gotta Google it. Siri ain't working. A speed EV. We are we are speed training this for alligator like it's nobody's business. Oh. Oh my gosh! How have we not gotten a shiny at this point? See, it just starts to drive me crazy, right? I was already talking about that with statistics. I want to send one quick text, really quick, really quick. Let's see here, though. Just want to check something. All right. There is some funny controversy over the Bible and Pokemon. And like when I was growing up, there was a big thing. Like my wife, she grew up Christian and in the church, right? And her church was a little more like typical, I guess you'd want to say. They had some legalism, and legalism is just a more church word, but it's a definition of like following rules that are not biblical, but following them as if they were biblical. If that makes sense. I think that's the best way to describe legalism. It's like trying to follow rules and regulations that are nowhere in the Bible telling Christians to do this, but they're very adamant on it. And like one of those, like, you know, dancing and kissing, maybe kissing, I don't know, but like dancing is a big one that people talk about a lot, right? Like Footloose, like the whole thing, right? They were a small town, and it was like the church pastor or something that was like, no dancing. But that was legit. My mother-in-law says her life was Footloose. Oh, hey, cheap followers, sweet. But that's why I was talking about legalism. Legalism's also silly. Just you know, just one of those things that really kept me away from Christianity for a long time, because I thought all Christians were that way, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. And then when you actually start studying the Bible and you're a Christian looking at it, you're like, oh, it actually doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just wrong that legalism exists in the way it does today. But my wife remembers Pokemon being like a big no-no. She also grew up where like Harry Potter was like, kids shouldn't be watching Harry Potter because it promotes witchcraft. And like, I know, like, I got saved in the church that she grew up in. We changed churches later for a whole lot of different reasons, especially wasn't Harry Potter or Pokemon. But it was one of those things that, like, he admitted, that pastor was like, yeah, when it first came out, we didn't want to do it. But then you start watching the movies, and they're fun, and they're really harmless. You know, and you start looking at it that way, and it's like, You see a lot of Christians today, and I remember when the Little Mermaid, the live action remake came out, we got to see a lot of our friends. Um, it was kind of sad. Kind of sad to see like some of our friends that were very legalistic, and we didn't know they were. Yep. Oh,
Don't worry, they're just, some of them are long, some of them are short.
gotcha. All right. What did we?
Might be long. Remember the SpongeBob movie?
I don't know that one, Addie. Gonna take a quick break for everybody there. Taking 5. Oh no, it changed my aspect ratio. Oh no. That was weird. What? Okay, we're taking 5. Alright, we're back. Alright. I do have to pick up my son from options at 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So, we've got like an hour and a half before I need to start really worrying. But also, I feel like another hour wouldn't be right. I want to stop at like 2. Get, yeah, no, I need to stop at 2. Or when we get the shiny baby, let's go. Shiny Zubat, it's coming. I know it's coming. Like, it's gonna happen today. I'm just not feeling it yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. I see. He fell out of the book? That's silly. Yeah. Whew. This is an unfortunate shiny hunt. And if this is... Oh, if this is an indicator to how the rest of the shiny hunting's gonna go, that's scary. Whoops. Nuts. What are we at now? I hope we haven't doubled. I hope we're not at like 500 encounters. There's no way to know. Well, could go back and do the math, right? Through the VOD, do the math. Because we do about 40. Well, give and take every time we have to run to the Poké Center. I feel like we've only gone, since hitting 250, we've gone maybe 3 times, so... maybe 400 encounters. Maybe. The music's still almost good at 900%. I tried to turn it down so that, like, viewers, you don't have to deal with all the terrible sounds of when it gets sped up, but I still hear it, and, oof, it's a rough one. I like how that guy's just dancing this entire time we've been searching. Oh. We have so many. So many. So many Zubats. Like, you can already, like, I'm not even that big of a shiny hunter. But you can already see, like, how flawed a real-life Pokemon economy would be. Like, we'd have mills for making shinies. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't even be rare anymore. There'd be tons of dead Zubats everywhere. Breeding. Hunting. Like, it'd be insane. Can't quite recall what point I was trying to make last. But that's alright. We're just trying to get the shiny Zubat. Green Zubat. That's all we want. Gotta start thinking about what the next shiny needs to be. We we can do the breeding method with for alligator on a Rhyhorn. If we wanted a Rhyhorn Rhydon, which those are pretty sick. That would be able to counter our problem against electric types. Because this moment, electric is a big problem, grass is a big problem. But once we get Zubat, grass will no longer be a problem. Because it'll have flying type moves as it evolves. But so far, that would still leave us extremely vulnerable to electric types. Like, an electric type could wipe those two Pokemon very easily. So, we just gotta be careful about that. It's like my one thing I'm worried about. Whoa, I had a pop-up. I was like, we broke it! Come on, man! Just give us the shiny right now. I'm feeling like it's coming. Nah. Never claim to be a prophet. Nor will I ever. Oops. Can't walk around while it's at 900% speed. Not on purpose. Oh. This has been a rough hunt. I did not think it would take an hour and a half. I said it about half an hour ago. I do not want to take 2 streams just trying to get shiny Zubat. Really, really don't. Just a bummer every time. See one. Like, no! And just to think, they're getting re-rolled 10 times per encounter. Like, the super powered up ones means it probably stopped before those 10 re-rolls happened. But essentially, we just went through 10 Zubats. Right there. And none of them were shiny or super good stats. And let's just think about that. 10 more Zubats. Oh! Actually, we don't know how many more Zubats, but we got one of the super powered up ones. That just means they have perfect stats, I think? Which is cool. Alright. Another one. Worked out on the rerolls, but that one didn't. So that was 10 Zubats. So, I mean, statistically, we're really close. Statistically, we're very close. But our odds have not changed. Because I think that's the shiny hunting in this game, is that it's not that I don't think the odds have gone down. I don't think the odds have gotten better. I think it's just we get more encounters per encounter. Come on, man! Now I have an idea, since our Feraligatr is so yoked. We might be the smartest idea to go and fight Erica, the gym leader. And so we can get the badge. We can earn the badge right away because this Feraligatr is just going to rip right through them, even though they're grass type. And then the Zubat can eventually get up to, a good. We can get our Zubat to a good flying type move, and then it can start taking down Erica over and over again to grind up the experience. Now, like I said, I think we should try and see if we can get a Rhyhorn in here. We should really start setting our sights on what's next. I think a Rhyhorn would be great because we got it! Woo! An hour and 32 minutes of hard grinding. There it is. Now, I'm not that stupid. Let's, we're gonna save state. We're gonna save state right here. Right here. Okay? So, since this is an emulation, we can save right here. If we fail the catching, we can just load it back. But I have full confidence that a Great Ball is going to do the trick, even though we're going to use a Pokeball. Woohoo! Oh, man. Yeah. That's it. Woohoo! Oh. Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, we gotta give a nickname. Green Bat. I mean, we gotta go with Drac, right? I mean, we're going with silly names. My son would really appreciate if we named this shiny Zubat Drac. Hey, I remembered what I was talking about before. Should we, let's see, does it look right? Drac. Yeah, looks better CK, right? Not just C. D-R-A-C-K, Drac, Dracula. I know Dracula doesn't have a K in it. We'll go with Drac, spelled like that. Because I like it more. I remember what I was talking about. Christian's playing Pokemon. Oh. We finally got it. Oh, we got our second shiny of the run. This is huge. Oh. Let's make Drac our follower. Oh, he's beautiful. Now, I want to get to Cerulean. And I don't want to go all the way through the cave. But let me see. Like I said, a Rhyhorn would do us good. So if we could get... I can't find it because I can't search it up in the game. I can look up where Rhyhorn is in Crystal. Whew. Man, I'm like living off that high right there. Pokemon Crystal, Victory Road. Yikes. We could actually we could actually go and catch one. At Victory, we could go catch one at Victory Road, because their minimum level that they spawn at is 32, and with a 33 for alligator, we could get it to a catch. We could catch it, like most definitely. Well, I made Drac our following Pokemon, but I didn't switch him out. Switch him. And, oh, he looks so good! Can't escape. Okay. Well, thanks for doing it for us. Wow, huge! Okay, we made it. We did it. We took an hour and a half of shiny hunting. I like having the timestamps. That helps me. Because I know that I started the stream, started the hunt. What? It didn't affect. Well, I'm about to ruin this cat's day. Could you imagine? Be like, oh, cool, you have a shiny... you have a shiny Zubat. That's really impressive. And then it looks like you're about to get away with it, and then I throw out a level 33 for alligator. Sorry. Okay. So, I'm going to go back to Pewter. Go back to Pewter. And then from Pewter, we're going to walk the back way, which will get us through Diglett Tunnel? Yeah. Through Diglett Tunnel, we're going to get to Vermilion, where then we'll be able to get to Cerulean. Or, no, we can go from Saffron and we can go straight to Erica's gym, actually. That's what I want to do. So, this is one of the best, coolest advantages of Pokemon Crystal Clear, is you go and talk to this guy, or no, or do you go to the statue? You go to the statue. Pewter City Pokemon Gym, Leader Brock. Would you like to re-challenge this gym? Yes, I do. What set would you like to challenge? And then, oh, blimey, we can put him all the way up there. So, okay, alright. So, set 1 is if you have 0 gym badges, right? Set 2 would be if you had 1 gym badge. So that's like technically where we're at, but I'm gonna put this to set 4 because we have a fur alligator. Locked. Okay, I didn't know it would be locked. My bad. Fully heals. Okay, so that's the best part about this game, is that you can re-challenge the gyms right out the gate. You can re-challenge them to lower levels, or to wherever the level you are at. So for us, this isn't good for Drac, but it's going to be literally no problem for Spike. So we're going to do some switch training, and it's going to take just a moment. But switch training, which is annoying. Absolutely. But with the speed up function, it's just a couple extra buttons. Drac's at level 8. Let's see, we get to just tear right through this. And, whoops. We're gonna have to just do that. Which isn't my favorite. And now we can just do it straight away again. Let me make sure that we don't have like a EXP share or something, like we didn't get it and I didn't turn it on or anything. Rocksmash Giga Drain, Earthquake, and Dig. Like, we talked about getting a Nidoking, right? A shiny Nidoking would be really cool. national park. So, that would be one that we could also breed. Like I said before, would be really good. But we'll do this a couple of times. Whew. It'd be really great if Drac learned, like, U-turn right now. Because then we could just use that, but... oh well. Can't have it perfectly every time. The problem with, like, breeding, and everybody says, is Gen 2 breeding, even shiny breeding, it's got the best odds, but it takes forever. Well, we got the speed up function, so... okay. So, Addie, we're only going to do one more, and then we should turn the TV off, okay? And then we can what? Yeah, you can play down here right now. Oh, I see. And this isn't the best way to train. So, like, because we know, so now we know, like, Erica's ace is going to be level 17. If we can just kind of get Drac right up to that, then we're going to be fine. Bite, it's fine. So, I'm kind of done. Don't really want to do that a bunch more. We've got some ground to cover. So, through what I remember, the national park is not far away from Goldenrod City. And since that's where we're going, since we can get to Goldenrod City very easily, very quickly, it's not much of a problem for us. Now, we don't want to go that way. We want to go through Diglett Tunnel. Diglett Cave, my bad. Kinda don't really want anything through here. Really, a dug trio right at the front. Right at the front gate, huh? Ow. Didn't want to do that. Okay. Now we're at Vermilion. Which... whoa. Okay, I don't know what that is. I don't want to get sidetracked. I kind of want to get a full team, but now I'm realizing that a full team is probably going to have to be, like, super leveled. Like, grossly leveled up. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go. And this will take us to Saffron, and then we'll go to Goldenrod. Then we'll go to the National Park. And then at the National Park, we're going to catch a Nidoran male. Once we catch a Nidoran male, then we'll come back here. We'll go north from Saffron City. We'll go north from Saffron City, and that will take us, Saffron City north will take us to the daycare, where then we'll put, for Alligator, and our Nidoran male, which I just realized will be a male. Hot dog. That is annoying. I I literally didn't think about that this entire time. Are for alligators a male? They're not gonna make an egg. Oh, yeah. This is just like the mistake I made when I caught Slugma, thinking, oh, I'll just have it breed, but it's not in the egg group, so it won't work. Oh, that's upsetting. Oh man, that was a big win for Drac. You should have lost that. Whew. Alright. Drac is growing slowly. It's good. He's starting to take on gym, or not gym, he's starting to take on trainers real easy. Huh. Nice job, Drac. Okay. Who's this guy? Alright. Now, we're at the national park. Who's this guy? Really? Oh yeah, I forgot the music in the national park rocks. Boo! 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 Sunkird. Ah. Sassafras, man. That stinks, dude. Crud. Poo. Dang. Ugh. Rats. Yep. Well, that's the Nidoran male that we want. But we need a shiny female. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna, we're gonna catch it and we're gonna box it. Just in the off chance, if we're able to get a Pokemon that is in, because if we can get a Pokemon that's a shiny, if we can get a Pokemon that is a shiny. His name's Dude. If we can get a shiny female that's in the monster egg group, then we can catch it. What I need to find out is if there are Nidoran females in this grass. That's really what I need to find out. Why?
Shows me what time it is.
Okay.
And it has a lot of secret there.
Oh, really? Okay, so now we have found a Nidoran female. We're gonna catch this, and we're just gonna go with the same plan. Same plan. We're just gonna get a shiny Nidoran female. Yikes. We're gonna name it Esther. But this isn't the one we're gonna use. We're gonna name our shiny Nidoqueen female Esther. This can be Jezebel. Why not? How about just Jez? Jez works. Alright, Jez. Alright, everybody. Which I guess actually, we do not have to go back to Cerulean. We do have to fight all these guys, though. We're just gonna keep Spike out. It's just gonna wreck this. Before you tell me you should have gone to the Poke Center, I know. I was just excited. Hey, poison me. Okay. Go all the way back here. I'm gonna talk to these guys. We're gonna actually box. Deposit, dude. Here's my other thought. Is my other thought was we just got an egg. Oh man. Alright, we'll give it Jez. And huh? Okay. Great. So, good news is we don't have to walk around waiting for an egg. Hey, there's Spike. Go get him, Tiger. We have an egg that we'll just try and hatch this egg. Try and hatch this egg while we're waiting. So again, with the speed up function, this game really, this won't be too hard. I forget. He'll be standing outside. I believe, actually, if you have an egg at the daycare, I believe this is correct. If you have an egg at the daycare, he'll be standing, like, in our way. So we will bump into it. We don't actually have to stop. I feel like I should almost put an epilepsy warning on my stream. So, this is the process we're going to have to do to hatch eggs. This is rough. I have to be paying enough attention attention while I'm going down. Oof. No egg from Nidoran female and for alligator. There should be one. They're in the same egg group. I did actually check that. We should be okay. But we should also, this egg that he gave us should be hatching any minute. But essentially, okay, so if you're not familiar, Gen 2, big. Okay, we have our first egg from Nidoran and for alligator. In Gen 2, the best shiny odds are actually from breeding. The shiny trait, that stat that makes the Pokemon shiny, is easily passed down from the parent Pokemon to the egg Pokemon. So, instead of a 1 in 8,000 chance, with all of these eggs, we have a 1 in, I believe, 64 chance because of Gen 2's shiny breeding policy. So, that's why this has been like my main method and why I haven't been able to think straight. And I've just been trying to get us to this point. It's because now we're just walking till we hatch eggs, and he's going to stay out there. Hey, Nabra. And he's going to stay out there and keep giving us eggs, and we'll just keep collecting and walking until we get a shiny Nidoran female. The problem is that part of our odds means that we could get a shiny Totodile before all of this is said and done. That would be extremely sad. Because, oh, there's another egg, let's go! That would be extremely sad to get a shiny Totodile. Because we already have a shiny for alligator. We do not need another shiny Totodile. Alright, we've got one. And it is Magby. That's the one that he gave us. Boo. I know that's not how you spell it. Like the hollow one. We want to be able to hold more eggs, but we'll just go back and deposit when we have it full. It won't be that much of a big thing. Stream ends in 5 minutes, boys. Let's try and get this shiny Nidoran. To go back to the purpose for this stream today, and I think most Mondays I'm going to just really try to make sure that it is much more of a biblical theming. Okay, that scared the daylights out of me. I thought the game crashed. That would have been really sad. We haven't saved at all today. It's a Nidoran female. Not shiny, not good stats. It doesn't need a nickname. That was exciting for a second. It did make me realize that we have not saved, so that would be very important. We do have another egg, and we'll probably get an egg, if not 2 more, from for alligator and Nidoran before we hatch the next egg. To get back to the topic I was talking about before, it was Christians with Pokemon. Was that it used to be a controversial topic, and really the entirety of the controversy was based in the legalistic idea that because Pokemon says the word evolve, that it's not godly. Because there's the theory of evolution, which Christians disagree with, because it's not biblically based, and yet it's taught in schools. What? I mean, it makes sense. I was not expecting... Does that mean we could get a shiny Nidoran male because we're using Nidoran? Oh! I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't think that that was actually possible. I thought the game was too dumb. But they programmed it to where Nidoran female lays Nidoran and male and female eggs. Oh boy, what a whole new level of fun. So we could get a shiny Nidoran male after all. What do you think of that? That's crazy. Okay. But essentially with Pokemon and Christians is that evolution being the basis of Pokemon, people were very against it. Said no, like that shouldn't be, and it's targeted towards kids, and right, and like no matter how much it might have been the right idea to try and protect your children from what you thought was bad in the world, which again, I'm a homeschool dad and a Christian homeschool dad. I do not teach my kids evolution, nor will I ever. And it's because it's scientifically not accurate, and it's biblically untrue. And so, I won't. So I understand that people might have been like just trying to protect their kids, but it's also really funny that when you actually look at scientific Pokemon, like there's only a few that like actually evolve, and we wouldn't actually call them evolutions. We would call them adaptations in the science world today. That there's some Pokemon that they have adaptations, not real evolutions of going from one species to another species. Right? And so that's... Oh yeah, how do you... Alright. That's 2 o'clock, everybody. Let's release... Oh my gosh. Let's release Drac. Did you see that? Holy cow. But... this Nidoran male... Pick him out as well. So, cool. Nice. Fine. Let's go one more. If the daycare man is back outside, we'll hatch the egg. He's not. So, join me next time as we as we keep breeding for a shiny Nidoran female or male. And then I think with those 3 Pokemon, we need to find a Moonstone for... Why did I pick Pokemon with terrible 3rd evolutions? Like, Crobat needs a Friendship evolution, and Nidoking needs the Moonstone. We're going to need to find a Moonstone, which won't be easy. Oh well. Alright, we saved, right? I'm going to do what I've always done, is when I start to doubt myself, if I've saved or not, I'll save again. That's the end of the stream. That's the end of this VOD. Thanks for hanging, watching. Bye.